India has long borne the brunt of cross-border terrorism emanating from Pakistan, a threat that continues to shape its foreign policy today. Recently, India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar drew attention to the enduring scars of the 26/11 Mumbai attacks, calling it a turning point in India's approach towards its western neighbor. In a blunt message, he exposed Pakistan's double game, sponsoring terror while feigning diplomacy, and warned that old habits have returned to haunt Islamabad. As India rises on the global stage with innovation and credibility, Pakistan finds itself cornered by the very forces it once nurtured.
India's concerns over Pakistan-sponsored terrorism remain as pressing today as they were in the past. From cross-border infiltrations to the backing of terror networks, Pakistan has consistently been accused of fueling instability in the region. Reflecting this long-standing challenge, India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar recently emphasized that the 2008 Mumbai terror attacks were a defining moment in India's relationship with Pakistan. He explained that the horrific events of that day deeply affected the Indian psyche and marked a shift in the country's stand towards its neighbor. However, reflecting on the long-standing tensions, he noted that Pakistan continues to follow a negative approach in its dealings with India.
They unfortunately are in many ways continuing the bad habits. They are continuing a very negative way of approaching India. And what has happened is today, I think, when I look back, I would say the 26/11 Mumbai terrorist attack, I would regard it in many ways as the turning point. After 2014, when the government changed, this message has been very firm with Pakistan, which is that terrorism, if acts of terrorism are committed, there will be consequences.
Pakistan's decades-long strategy of supporting extremist groups while maintaining diplomatic ties with global powers has often been called out as a dangerous double game. This approach, aimed at leveraging terror groups for regional influence, however, has now begun to backfire. This was precisely the point raised by Jaishankar, who said Pakistan's reliance on terror networks like the Taliban eventually backfired, creating a blowback that now threatens its own stability.
So Pakistan was playing a double game. It was with the Taliban and the Afghan, those opposed to the Americans, and it was also playing with. Now, every double game comes to an end. Ab unka bhi wahi hua. That some stage the Americans said, ab bahut ho gaya, we are leaving. Now, when they left, the double game could not be sustained. So, whatever benefits they were getting out of the double game, that also went down. In fact, then they discovered they had a further problem, which was the very people, the very terrorism industry, which they had followed, came back to bite them. That today they are facing, the actions of people whom they promoted. So, from their point of view, you can say old habits have continued.
As India strengthens its global image through innovation and technology, Pakistan continues to be associated with extremism and terror networks.
We have gone up to a higher level. We are today, if you go out in the world, it's a joke, but it's not really a joke, which is the sense that IT for India means information technology, for Pakistan means international terrorism. So that sense today that their branding, that terrorism chap has stuck to them. Today our branding is a technology branding, and I think that is the difference.
India's message remains clear. Terrorism as a tool of state policy is unacceptable and will invite consequences. As the global narrative shifts, Pakistan finds itself increasingly isolated, while India moves ahead as a trusted, forward-looking partner on the world stage.